Hi, I'm FB and this is TM News, November 12th, episode 68, beginning with the latest results. And I'll begin with the Unlimited Dirt tournament, which now has ended. The grand final was played between Pulse and Subliminal, and it was Pulse who won pretty easily with a 21-7 score by winning all 3 sub-matches. Also a match for 3rd place was played between DDR and TMF, and this one ended in a 15-15 score, which I assume means that they are sharing the 3rd place. Links to the full playoffs trees can be found below. To continue, the playoffs of Stadium Team Championship 10 and Nations Cup 9 happened on last Sunday and Monday. In STC we had 8 teams in Team Acer, Fun Team, VSP, BX3, Against All Authority, Penta, Easy Killer and Team Dignitas advancing to the quarterfinals. Then for Nations Cup, Sweden defeated Portugal, Germany took down the Netherlands, Poland won against Austria, and lastly France beat Spain in the quarterfinals. You'll find a link to the playoffs trees as well as the results for the B playoffs for both these events in the description. Nations Dirt Cup kicked off their season on Sunday, and with 1 round played, it's Italy who's currently in the lead in Group A by winning against Australia and New Zealand with a 14-1 score. And then Belgium is topping Group B by defeating Brazil with a 14-0 score. Useful links to follow this event are found in the summary. Lastly for results, here's an update on the BA Championship. 3 more races have been played, and first off was the Japanese Grand Prix where Sopra took first ahead of Edster and Shuck, and with that extended its lead in the toll. Then the second race was the Russian Grand Prix where Edster now took first place ahead of Sopra, and with Shuck once again being third. The third race, which was the United States Grand Prix, was played this past Sunday, and this time Shuck took first place ahead of Edster and McRobert at third. Sopra drove in the latest race as well, but retired because of messing up the pit stop. With that in mind, the total standings are now that Edster takes over the lead from Sopra, who falls down to 2nd place and is 12 points behind Edster. Also Shuck closes in on Sopra and is now 20 points behind at 3rd place. Moving on to community news, and first off I'll mention the ManiaPlanet Toolkit app, which is made by Toffe. This is an iOS and Android app where you can keep yourself updated on ManiaPlanet related content. For example, with this app you can show the rankings and positions of all your installed titles, and also keep yourself updated on Mania Flash news, among other things. If you want to test it out, check out this topic link below for more details. Then I also got 2 map related news to mention, beginning with the Simple Editor contest, which is being hosted by Christian over at TMX. In this contest you can only use the Simple Editor of ManiaPlanet when you build your map. To see the other rules as well as other information, visit this topic. The deadline to send in your track is set to November 23rd. And to finish off the community news, Against All Authority are planning to host a speed competition in the near future, and with that are asking for maps to be sent in. You'll find all the requirements for how to build the maps in the topic, which you'll find a link to in the summary. The deadline here is set to November 25th. Now for upcoming events, and to begin with, Dave's 21 Cup will have its second to last race this upcoming Friday at 8 PM CET. Currently Shark is leading, but is not that far ahead of Tommy and Kinch, who are looking to do well in these last 2 rounds. To follow the race, make sure to check out the Facebook page, which is linked to below. ESL are going to organize a 10th edition of the ESL RPG Nightcup on Saturday at 8 PM CET. The format is staying unchanged, which is time attack to begin with, and then the best 50% will advance to a final phase played in knockout. New for this edition though is that thanks to a generous donation from Zombie, there will be a prize of €25 going to first place. If you're interested in participating, you can already now download the track that will be used and start practicing. And remember that you also need to sign up on ESL's website. On Sunday and Monday at 8 PM CET, the playoffs of Stadium Team Championship 10 and Nations Cup 9 are continuing. STC are at the quarterfinals, where the matchups will be Team Acer vs Fun Team, BX3 vs VSP, Penta vs Against All Authority, and Easy Killer vs Team Dignitas. And then for Nations Cup, Sweden will face off against Germany in the first semifinal, and in the second, the defending champions France are playing against the surprise Poland. Helpful links to follow these tournaments are provided in the description. To finish off the episode, another tournament that only got 2 more races left to be played is the BA Championship. Edster is currently in the lead ahead of Sopra and Chuck, and the next race is the Brazilian Grand Prix, which takes place on Tuesday at 9:30 PM CET. To find out more about it, check out the official website. And that's all I had for this week. Thanks everyone for watching, remember to rate and comment on this video if you want, and I'll see you next time. Also, a match for 3rd place was played. And this week I'll start with the Unlimited Dirt Tournament with Also, a match for 3rd place was First place ahead of Sopra, and with Chuck once again. Then the 2nd race was the Russian. Sopra drove in the later